horoscopes. Basically, when an astrologer is going through and giving light predictions for what's going to happen a certain week, a certain transit, whatever is happening for each of the rising signs. So I'm sure if you're around my age, I'm 43, you grew up reading them in like Cosmo or like the newspaper possibly, but now we see them on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and you know, sometimes they make sense and sometimes they don't. They're kind of like a double-edged sword, because it's like, if you want to be an astrologer, you almost have to do them to kind of showcase your talents, but at the same time, when they don't fit, it's like people are like, see, that's why I don't believe in astrology. But it's because you guys don't understand it. You don't understand what we're doing, and things are not being activated in your specific chart. So let me explain. I'm going to show my chart first. Okay, so this is my chart. The internal circle is my natal chart. That is the map of the sky at the time that I was born. Now, the cool thing about natal charts is that there are hundreds or thousands of little mini stories all in this chart. Nothing can exist that is not laid out or dictated by this chart. Nothing can happen that's not already promised by this chart. Okay? So the transits, the circle on the outside, almost act as like an activating agent or an activating key that unlocks the things that are supposed to or can potentially happen on your personalized natal chart. Okay? So when an astrologer is doing a horoscope, they don't get to see all of the little details in your chart. All they're doing is, for example, this is July 31st. This is the day of the Mercury Cazimi. When Mercury passes through the heart of the sun, you get your aha moment, and it carries, through so that you can improve on something, okay? It's happening at 8 degrees of Leo. Now, a horoscope is saying, okay, Libra rising, so these are always done by your rising sign. So first of all, if these are not making sense, you need to be watching for your rising sign, not your sun sign. Because basically, as you turn the wheel, it changes the house that this is happening in. So like, I'm going to do a horoscope based off this. So for Libra risings, it's falling in the 11th house. The 11th house has to do with your friends, your associations, your hopes and dreams, social media, things like that. So as you turn the wheel, this will fall into this house or this house or this house, depending on what rising sign you're looking at. So basically, it's like the astrologer's going, okay, we've got a Mercury retrograde. It's going through the sun. There's going to be an aha moment. Mercury is all about how you're processing information in relation to your friends. So Libra risings, that's what's going to happen for you. And then they move on to some other generalized thing. So for me, this is happening at 8 degrees. Now, if I'm looking at my chart and I'm looking at how this is going to be narrowed down, I see that this is making a trine aspect, because this is a fire sign and my Venus is at 8 degrees in a fire sign. So, and it's in the 7th house. So yes, I'm going to have an aha moment, possibly about a friend, possibly about associations, possibly about social media. This could play out. 7th house is yes, it's romantic partnerships. Venus is also art. It could also be business partnerships in the 7th house. Aesthetics with Venus. Yes, romantic partners possibly, but this could literally be an aha moment where a business partner or like association helps me learn some sort of like artistic endeavor that helps make my social media more creative, more aesthetically pleasing. So that could be a way that this plays out. It could also be like an aha moment that maybe I'm in love with a friend, possibly. So that helps narrow it down to give you a little bit more fine-tuned details about how this would happen. So let's go look at another Libra Risings chart. Here's another Libra Risings chart. The aspect that we're looking at, the Cazimi, is in the same spot. But this one is conjunct Saturn in retrograde, and the Saturn is opposite the Sun. Fifth house is, so we're pulling in some fifth house themes. So this person might have an aha moment about where they might be holding themselves back or where they might be restricted. Usually in retrograde with Saturn, it's, you know, the restrictions you're placing on yourself, where you're holding yourself back, possibly with friends, possibly in your social media, from your hopes and dreams. And in the fifth house, you know, this is dating, children, like your own children, your childhood to a certain degree. It could also be, did I say dating already? Your hobbies, the things that you do for fun. So it's like, where are you holding yourself back from doing the things that you enjoy, and how is that playing out in your life? Are you able to achieve your hopes and dreams, or are you holding yourself back maybe because of some ego issue, because the Sun is a lot about the ego? So this person is going to have aha moments that are more in relation to that. You know, they could also be reviewing the way that they're dating, or who they're dating, or if they want to date, or how they're going to date. Maybe rewriting a dating profile, like reconsidering, you know, maybe they didn't put as much you know, of their pros in their dating. Maybe they didn't want to, like, say these excellent things about themselves, and so they're going to go back and rewrite it. I don't know, but that's a little bit more detail because we're looking at their actual chart. Let's look at another one. Okay, this will be the last one that we look at, but this person is divorced, okay? Libra rising, same transit, same house. This one's conjunct his Venus and Juno. Juno's an asteroid that has a lot to do with your marriage partner. Venus is also a lot about your, you know, like your partner, what you find attractive, blah, blah, blah. 11th house. Usually these people with Venus in the 11th house are going to fall in love with their besties, and it is making that trine to Mars. This is retrograde. This person could have an aha moment about maybe the part that they played, maybe the part that where they get a little self-destructive and it winds up possibly causing a divorce. This person is divorced. They might have like oh, I really need to apologize to my ex-wife because of the things that I did. Like, yes, she is not without blame, but neither am I. So that's how this could wind up playing out for this person. Conversely, you could have a chart where this doesn't do anything. Maybe you have an empty 11th house and you have nothing around 8 degrees, 5 degrees on either side in any of the houses. Okay, so for those of you that are like, astrologers said X, Y, and Z was gonna happen, nothing fucking happened. Maybe you have a chart that doesn't have anything 5 degrees on either side of 8. And so this isn't talking to anything in your chart. It's not activating any of the natal promises within your chart. So that's entirely possible. So if you ever have a situation where astrologers are like, this is a crazy transit, nobody's getting off the hook, it's powerful, and nothing happens, it might be because it doesn't talk. It doesn't activate anything in your chart by degree. So that's just a not so quick video on what horoscopes are, what we're looking for, why getting an actual chart reading is a much better idea than trying to piece one together for yourself through watching multiple horoscopic videos. If you want to book with me, you know how to reach me. Let me know.